YouTube, hello. It is finally time for us to do the fabled tier list everyone has been waiting for. The first 50 games we played on this stream. I'm really excited for this because I'm a huge fan of all the games we've played so far, and I've really loved what we've done so far in our journey to play all 550 of them. Now, you might be wondering, Tom, why is there only 25 of the 50 games uploaded to YouTube? What happened? Been really lazy. Haven't made the thumbnails. Person that made the thumbnails for me usually can't do them anymore. She's gotten really busy. I get it. So I need to be making them. I will get on that. I'm sorry. Motivation has been hard for me recently. I will get to it though. Sorry. Anyways, normally I would say we would do this from 1 to 50 because I'd have an order and remember what they were. Don't remember the order. It's fine. So instead what we're doing today is we're just going to pick them, slap them on the list. Now, what I'm mainly judging these by is replayability, which let's start in the top. Most important to me is story and gameplay. Go hand in hand. Graphics take a back seat because one, these games are old. I get it. Still going to judge graphics, but based on this time era, I'm not going to judge them to, like, you know, the new Call of Duty, for example. And then replayability as well is a part of that. Since some of these games were really good, but I mean, you beat them once, they're done, right? You don't really go back. Also, some of you might say, isn't this going to be bias? Yeah, it's the point of a tier list. It's my tier list. I can be biased. Crazy, I know. Anyways, Zoo Cube. This game was so good. It is a puzzle game where you have a giant cube in the middle of the screen and you rotate it to put different kind of animals on each side to get points. And every time you pair two animals together, you get points, and you put it back together and the cube will shrink and eventually you'll pass the level. Honestly, amazing. I'm going to put it in great because it is very, that's the whole game. Is you just do the puzzle. There's no real unlockables. There's no real puzzles. It's just the one game. That's it. There's no extra to it. The replayability is high though because I mean you just redo it and the stages are randomized, which is great. I like the music. The gameplay was fun, exciting, but I could just see it getting old. I'm happy putting it in great. I think it's fine there. X-Men, I thought was also great. Better than Zoo Cube. This might get some people mad, but no. I think Zoo Cube is better. I think the combat was a little annoying in X-Men. I was not a huge fan of it. I thought it could have been better. The story, fine. It worked. For the time period, the graphics looked amazing, actually, really, for the time period. It was a bit short, but, it was a licensed tie-in movie game. That's kind of how it works, right? That's how those games work. It's fine. People are going to be mad at this. Bad Boys is going in near perfect. This game was the biggest upset in my eyes compared to any other game that I've played so far on the channel. Going into this game, I thought it was going to be another just garbage licensed tie-in game. It was going to be bad. It wasn't going to be good. Holy cow. Bad Boys Miami Takedown was so good. Now, once you beat it once, you can replay it to try to get better ratings on the missions, to get more unlockables and stuff, which is cool. It does have that replayability. I'm probably not going to replay it. That one playthrough was fine for me. I would put it in goated, but the problem is some of it, the game was not built around boss fights. They very much felt like they were added in as an afterthought. Because a lot of the boss fights just felt really unfair to play. Which, it's hard to make boss fights. I get it. It's fine. But it definitely was not in the forefront of what they were trying to do when they made the the game. It had more of an exploring factor to it, and like being a cop, where the boss fights, you know, and fighting the giant helicopter and stuff. Sitting there with a pistol shooting a helicopter for like 15 minutes, it felt real bad. So that kind of, you know, halts it on that front. Call of Duty 1. It was good. I'd say it was good. It was short. Some of the levels went on way too long. There was no automatic regen yet. You had to find health kits on the floor, and you couldn't. You could bank some of the health kits, but they just. I feel you needed them so often, and the biggest problem with this game, and I'd put it higher if I could. However, your bullets, you could see someone and try to shoot them, but your bullets are shorter than the render distance. So if I can see an enemy across the field and I'm shooting at him, well, guess what? I can't hit him because my bullets don't render that far. Only the sniper works that way, is where you can like shoot any distance. But with like any other gun, even a carbine or whatever, it does not matter if I can see them. You cannot hit them. They can hit you. They can hit you just fine, but you cannot hit them. And that's just it's a technology limitation. I get it. It was their first game, so like I'm not really bashing them that hard. I'm excited to play Call of Duty 2 in the future. I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, I can't put this any higher. I need to try to be somewhat non-biased where I can. Big Mother Truckers was good. It's fine. If you like a game about driving a truck, delivering things, it was fine. The main missions of the game that I thought was the main story were okay. They were like challenge missions and stuff. It was whatever. It worked out fine. It has like a story mode where you try to like make more money than your siblings to like buy the truck company. We never got to the end of that just because it was getting really late, and it was probably about like another hour or so of gameplay left. But I was like, man, I'm not. It was more of the same. It wasn't. You just drive between cities to like buy and sell stuff between different cities for high and low. It was fine. It was cool, but it was very repetitive. Went on, I think, for 30 in-game days when it really could have just gone on for like 15. It didn't need 30. So, doing all the challenge missions and then doing, 80% of the story mode was fine. It was fine. Cabela's Big Game Hunter, bad. If you are into hunting realism and you want a game that is immersive, and you spend 8 bajillion years crouching around in the woods to shoot this one thing and then have to fight the environment in the game to climb back up areas to then get back to the exit with your kill. Oh, but wait. Sorry, this part specifically is too steep. So you fell down and broke both your legs. So you're moving at a 20% speed compared to 100% speed. Oh, you didn't bring any med kits? Yeah, too bad. Oh, you died? Yeah, start again, forehead. Holy shit. It felt bad to control. It wasn't fun. It was boring. And I mean, for people that like hunting simulation games, fine. I get it. Do whatever suits you. But just looking at this game from my perspective, no. Not good. I did not like it. I think it was just awful. Dark Summit. Originally, I would have put this in bad or meh. However, once you get the hang of the game, it was pretty good. I think it was the top of good tier. That's the order. I think it was the top of good tier. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. For the first hour, I absolutely despised it. I thought it was just awful. Because the reason I can't put it any higher is it does not explain like how to play the game at all unless you go into the settings and find yourself. There's just not a tutorial, which, to be fair, a lot of games this time period, there weren't really tutorials. I get it. However, it would have been nice if it told you anything, where when it wanted you to do certain things, it would be like, hey, do this challenge. All right, cool. How do I do the challenge? They wanted you to do like X amount of these tricks or whatever, which maybe if I played more like snowboarding and skateboarding games, I would know how to do it better and I would, like it more, but it is what it is. I think good because the story was really fun. I think people should play it. Game we're going to get out of the way quickly, just before I forget, while we're on the talking of like sports games. Not necessarily sports, but like active. Where is it? I guess it's free for now because I can't seem to find the picture. So it's safe for now. But there's a certain game we will get to that's getting my full wrath. Okay. Narnia. Played this. This was game number 50. I played with my buddy Blue. It was good. I'll put it below Call of Duty. Actually, no, we're putting it in meh. The people that made the game were the people that make all the Lego Star Wars games, or just all the Lego games. And they took what they knew of how when they made Lego games and made the Narnia game. So it's like a really crappy Lego game, but with just like your 4 characters, and there's like really just bizarre upgrades, and it feels really bad to play. It doesn't feel good. And maybe if I cared about the movies a bit more, maybe I'd like it more. But it's really janky, and a lot of the boss fights are so bad. Like, they're so boring. So, I mean, it's just kind of what I have to do is just I have to give it that. Which, I mean, I'm sorry for the people that really like, really enjoy Narnia or the movies or the game. Sorry, but it's just not, it's not fun. It was enjoyable because of the person I played with, but that was about it. Geist. One of my buddies recommended this game to me. He really wanted to see me play it. First half of the game, phenomenal. You had choices on how you wanted to do things. You could, be stealthy. You could go gung-ho. You could possess people to, like, trick the enemies into thinking who you were. Really good. Really, really liked it. I thought it was great. Second half of the game, you could see they ran out of money or they were rushed because, man, once they got to the second half of the game, no. It was not good. You really only had one direction to do anything. You either did it this way or just, too bad. That was the solution. There wasn't like, oh, let's do gung-ho. Or let's, be sneaky, or let's possess people. No. You did one of those things, and you didn't have another option. Because of that, we're putting it in good. Good's going to have a lot of games. I think we're going to put it between... I think Dark Summit was better. Custom Robo. Holy shit, Custom Robo. When we started the game, you know what, actually, no. We're Custom Robo. Holy shit. Starting the game, you just think it's just a normal, like, arena fighter where you build mechas, whatever. It's whatever. But, oh my god, like, I don't even want to spoil the story because the story is so freaking cool. It's amazing. It blew my mind. And it's replayable because there's a whole bunch of post-game stuff you can do to get other mech pieces and It's so good. It's so good. I cannot recommend Custom Robo enough. It was one of the best games we played in this stint. So good. It just, the graphics are amazing. The humor is fun. The writing is the story, again, the lore and story is amazing, and it is a real shame we did not get a real sequel. Mario Tennis. I mean, I don't like tennis. I didn't think it was a generic, it was a sports game. It was tennis. You shot, you hit the ball back and forth. There were super moves and stuff. It was fine. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to rate a Mario sports game lower than great, because they're all fine, right? None of them are bad. Nintendo knows what they're doing, but I don't know. It could have been better. Could have been worse. I just didn't. I don't know. I think in bigger iterations, I think the one on the Switch is. I would say I like the one on the Switch. Do I like the one on the Switch more? I don't know if I do. It's hard to say. It's tennis. If you like tennis, cool. I've always been more of a Mario Golf kind of guy, or kart, or party, most importantly. But, if you like tennis, sure. It's fine. It's Mario Tennis. Oh, perfect. I saw it. Sorry. Actually, I'm going to swear anyways. Fucking World Tour. The biggest pile of dog shit. It controls horrendous. They decided, what if we take the Tony Hawk game, right, and turn it into a scooter, like those push scooters? What if we make them ride one of those instead of a skateboard? And we still have the timer and everything. We just carbon copy Tony Hawk, but do it worse, where it feels like it just doesn't control well at all. And we put enemies in it that you can attack and do it like boss fights. Why? Who knows? I played about an hour of it, and sweet Jesus, it was just so... I couldn't play any more of it. It was just so horrendously bad. I dare say it's probably the worst game I've ever played, period. It just felt so stiff. For example, how you do a game like this properly, Dark Summit. Dark Summit was good. Dark Summit controlled well, the controls were tight, the story was good, it did its own thing, still had the whole point system and like the trick system and stuff, which worked great. But they didn't have the annoying timer that Tony Hawk does, which, mind you, I hate the timer, but it works in Tony Hawk with how the levels are laid out. World Tour does not. It's so bad. One of the worst games just ever played. Holy crap, it's awful. It's so bad. But, if you for some reason like masochism and enjoy really bad sports games or skateboarding games, I guess, whatever you want to call them, sure, great. Legend of Zelda, probably could have seen this coming. In my top 5 games of all time, Twilight Princess is the best Zelda game. It's basically perfect in every way. Only downside the game has is I wish there was more to do. I wish I could just have more Twilight Princess. Oh my, the story is perfect. The characters are written perfectly. It's beautiful looking. The gameplay, the scenery, even the replayability for just a more linear-ish Zelda game. Oh, I could replay Twilight Princess over and over and over again. It is phenomenal. If I had to pick a nitpick I think the three Wolf Link sections where you collect the light bugs, I don't think we needed three of them. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we needed three, which is fine. You know, they didn't know there were three areas, three bug things. I think that third one was a bit too long for my liking. I didn't like that you had to go all the way to Hyrule Castle and you had to go to into Lake Hylia and Hyrule Castle, Hyrule Field. It just felt too much. It was too big. Other than that though, fucking perfect game. Oh my god. Absolutely perfect. I absolutely loved it. Okay. Luigi's Mansion. Put at the top of great. It's hard to call it near perfect, at least for me, because I don't know. It's one of those games where it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. It's fun for the one playthrough, you know, getting the secret golden room and like watering the plant and getting all the booze. It's fine. I don't hate it. But I don't know. I don't like how it controls. It feels kind of crappy. Like, I get it. It was, you know, a launch title for the GameCube. They didn't really know what they were doing yet with the C-Stick. It just doesn't feel great. I don't know. It's one of those games where I feel like I need to put it this high because it is, I mean, it's Luigi's Mansion. It's a great series. I love Luigi. He's one of my favorite Mario characters. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's okay. But again, if I put it any lower, I mean, we're gonna do yeah. It's not better. It's not worse than Mario Tennis Ace. I think Zoo Cube's still better though, which might upset some people, but it's my tier list. Lego Star Wars, we will put in. Younger me would have put it in goated. However, replaying through it and getting the 100%, I realized it is very short. Once you get all the mini kits and stuff, there's not very much replayability. It is a very short game. And I mean, that's not a problem, right? You can start to finish it, get it done in, maybe 16 or so hours, if that. You could probably do 12. I enjoyed every minute of it. I loved every single minute of it, start to finish. I would have liked more of it. I think that's why the complete saga is the best Lego Star Wars game of all time. Not even the Skywalker saga. No, just the complete saga. Without the 7, 8, 9, just 1 through 6. Phenomenal. I wish it was on the GameCube. It's not. It's on the Wii. We do not sadly get to play it on this channel, but oh man, what a perfect game. What a perfect game. Lego Star Wars 1, still a classic. Always love it. Codename Kid Next Door. We'll put it in Matt. I mean, it's a very generic 3D platformer. It had a fun spin or idea on like the TV show. There's certain levels you play for all those different characters. You fight some of the villains and stuff. It's fine. It's just very safe, very generic. It's a licensed tie-in game. They didn't really try to push the envelope at all. That was the game. It felt generic. I didn't feel like I was really getting a amazing experience. Is what it is. Ed, Ed and Eddie. This, on the other hand, I think was a really well done licensed tie-in game. So much so that I 100%ed it. That's how good I thought it was. We'll put it there. Put it in great. I really liked it. I thought the levels were really fun. I thought the art style was good. I enjoyed the combat. I enjoyed getting all the collectible jawbreakers. It was fun, you know. It had bonus levels you could get from collecting all the costume pieces. Nothing very serious, pretty laid back. There was not really ever a threat of dying or losing or doing, you know, getting a game over. It was very simple. That was, you know, it's fine sometimes. Jimmy Neutron Attack of the Twonkies. If I was a kid, when I was a kid, I would have put it up in like great, because it was. I mean, I thought it was a lot better than it really is. It's bottom of good. I remember it being a lot bigger and a lot more to do, but when I played it, it felt it was a lot more constrictive than I remember. I thought it was more open world, and I thought there was a more to do, which is not true. It's pretty linear, which again, for the time period, was linear. Story was fine. It was based on the TV special, The Attack of the Twonkies, which, I mean, was a phenomenal TV special. I've watched it again after I played the game because it's really good. TV special was fine. The game, it hit all the story beats. It was just a TV special, but you could play it, which was fine. You got to like invent gadgets to help you and stuff, but I don't know. It was safe. It was safe. They didn't try to do anything super special with it. It was a safe bet. It was the arcade was cool, where you could play like retro games to like earn tokens to get into oh god, what's his name? I can't remember off the top of my head. Get into the arcade where Shane's hero was being held. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. Game was okay though. It's fine. Still probably worth a play if you really like Jimmy Neutron's worth a play for sure. Medal of Honor. It was done better than Call of Duty 1, but not by much. How do I put this? Some of the missions felt like they either went on too long, or there were just some super short ones. It didn't always feel like it knew what it wanted to do, and some of the objectives were a little weird. For a GameCube controller, shooting felt great on it, using the C-stick to aim, which is a crazy thing to say, that, you know, a C-stick being good to aim. But it was fine. The guns looked good. The graphics were great for a GameCube game. Thank God it did not have the shooting render distance issue. You could shoot and actually hit things. Like, it didn't matter how far away they were. It was phenomenal. Oh my lord, the fact... Oh god, that Call of Duty still annoys the hell out of me. Ugh. Ghost Recon 2. No. Put it at the bottom. Put it there. No, we'll put it... I feel like putting all the shooting games together, it just works better. My biggest problem with Ghost Recon was, again, weirdly lengthed missions, and there being no checkpoints was a real pain in the ass, which, whatever, it's how the games were back then. No med kits, which no regening health period, which is supposed to be more realistic. I get it. Story was fun, but there was just some really strange bugs, and I'm having issues separating the three shooters in my head because they're all just so generic. This time period, it was they're all very generic. Ghost Recon did something cool before Call of Duty kind of switched to a more modern age. Ghost Recon had more of a modern shooter, semi-futuristic actually. That was really cool. Cool take compared to everyone else kind of still doing World War II games. I don't know if it would have been better if they did a World War II game or not, but it just, I don't know. They're all just super generic. They're not doing anything for me. I don't know. They felt fine, I guess is the best way of putting it. They felt fine. Just best. Yeah. Anyways, sports games. I'm just putting in sports. I have no opinions on these because I hate sports. I don't like it. Me judging the sports games just isn't. I have nothing to base them on. I don't. Mario Party 7, top of the tier list. It is my favorite childhood game. I played with my sisters all the time, and they used to beat me constantly at it. And because they would beat me constantly at it, I kept playing by myself to get better and better and better. Eventually, I got so good that I could finally beat them. And on the flip side of me being able to beat them, I now beat all my friends at it as well. I don't have any of the VODs uploaded for Mario Party, damn it. You'll have to take my word for it until I upload them. I really love Mario Party. All my friends more or less hate it because they, were always playing for second, or, I force them to. I don't force them to. Some of them will play it with me, but usually it's a lot of just, I guess we're playing for second. But I love it. Anything can happen. You never know if you're going to win or lose. Perfect game. Just the Mario Party system from Mario Party 1 and 2 I don't like, 3 I like, 4 I hate, 5 is good, 6 and 7 are the best, 8 is also the best. Those 3, 6, 7, 8 for me are phenomenal. And then 9, you hit that steep decline into garbage until Mario Party Superstars, where they remade a bunch of the N64 boards. Maybe Jamboree will be good. I don't really like motion controls. Mario Party 8's the exception. We'll see. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Not a big racing game guy. However, this game felt really good to control, and I think we'll put it at the top of good, because even for a non-racing fan, the lower difficulty missions I thought were really fun. It felt snappy, like the controls. The one thing, if you're gonna make a racing video game, the controls need to be good. Oh, excuse me. The controls need to be good. And they did that. The controls worked very well. Graphics, surprisingly, the game looked great. There was no real render distance issue where you were worried about not knowing where to go because the render distance was too short compared to where you're driving. I always felt like I knew where to go, which was nice. Later difficulty missions I can't really comment on because I didn't have fun with them because I just wasn't doing well. It's a skill issue. If I was better at racing games or got better at this racing game specifically, I'd probably have gotten better at it. But again, still my list, so I'm not going to rate it as high compared to other games just because I also think racing games are kind of generic. I don't know. I'm just not a car guy. Yeah, whatever. Mystic Heroes. We'll put it at the top of meh. Very early Samurai Warriors game. My biggest problem with this game, two things. We'll start with the less big thing. Second to last boss or third to last boss, can't remember. I think it was second to last boss. This really goes to show this was a time period where you couldn't nerf or patch or fix things. So, it was when it was sent out the door. That's just how it was. However you got the game, too bad, that's just how it is. Because, oh my god. The giant death lion boss, ghost lion, tiger thing, whatever. awful. Hated every second of it. Because he would just teleport around the arena and you have to catch him on his way back. And it felt so bad. Did not feel good. And for me, the biggest problem I had with this game is your allies did little to no damage to enemies. Because you're doing this big war thing where you're fighting a bunch of enemies and you have teammates fighting with you. They did like maybe 2 to 5% of what your damage was. Like, it would take them the entire match to kill one guy. It was so bad. Like, I get you want your main player to kill the dudes so they feel like all powerful and stuff, but I want my allies doing stuff. Like, that's what I hate with a lot of the old like Call of Duties, especially the old Call of Duties, where your teammates would be just shooting, just random. Like, they wouldn't ever be hitting anybody, they'd just be shooting. It would look like they'd be hitting people, but their bullets apparently just weren't real, because they wouldn't do any damage, they wouldn't kill anybody. And that infuriates me when I have teammates that don't do anything. Like, I get it, you want me to kill everything, so I, feel like the hero. I don't care. Give me teammates that actually do things. Pikmin 2. We're going to rate Pikmin 1 first, because Pikmin 1, I'm going to upset some people with this. I think I'm going to make some people really mad. Putting Pikmin 1 in meh. I thought the timer was not needed. I think it rushes you to not let you fully enjoy and experience the game. And I know that might have been the gameplay intention because they wanted you to replay it. However, I don't feel that there's enough content or want to replay the game. You know, I got the good ending. I got all the ship parts. The controlling the Pikmin in Pikmin 1 feels really bad. And I just had a miserable time with the final boss. I hated it. When I lost all my Pikmin, I never felt like I had time to like repopulate and like take a step back and be like, okay, we can recover from this. We'll take a day, grow a bunch of Pikmin. We'll get back out there. I never felt like I had that relaxed time where it was always go, 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 go. I never felt like I ever had a chance to just chill. Now, that's where Pikmin 2 comes in. Pikmin 2 was phenomenal. For all the problems I had with Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2 fixed. Oh man, they fixed it all. And they kept all the good things about Pikmin 1 and just updated them in Pikmin 2 and then fixed the bad things. Better controls, the game feels snappier, it looks better, which wasn't really a problem in 1. Music is still amazing, getting to play the different characters is cool, unlocking the bonus character in post-game, it really feels amazing. And I think how they handled Pikmin 2, if they would... I know they remade Pikmin 1 recently and it's just a port, but it's like an updated port. If there was a way to play Pikmin 1 without the timer, I'd honestly would have put Pikmin 1 in good. Because or great, probably great. Because it was great. Pikmin 2 was a great game, Pikmin 2 was a near perfect game, actually. That's why I said near perfect. Pikmin 1 could have been a great game if that timer didn't exist. And I know that's the point of the game. I get it. But that doesn't mean I'm still not okay with it. It's how it is. Fighting games I find really annoying. Fighting games that aren't like platform fighters. I don't like typical fighters. It's not a heavy combo fighter guy. I don't like combos and stuff. I enjoy platform fighters where there's like X amount of buttons. There are combos, but it's like stringing together moves instead of pressing like 8 buttons to do a move, and then stringing together those 8 button moves into other 8 button moves. Whatever. Game was fine. It looked pretty. It went through like the first arc of Naruto, I believe, or first chunk of Naruto when they were kids still. Went through the kids section, I think, of the game, which was fine. It was, if you like Naruto and fighting games, absolutely worth playing. I did the free play mode to I did like a free play mode and got to the end with Kakashi. Thought it was really good. I didn't realize there was a story mode. I did like half the story mode. Got to like chapter 20. Realized there was like 42 chapters or 40 chapters. And I was like, absolutely not doing all that. It just wasn't warranted, and it was just becoming a skill issue on my end of just not being good enough. So, I know when to throw in the towel. We'll put it there. Put it there. Madden, they're just into the sports section with you. Namco Museum. Putting I mean, they're arcade games. They're old. They're fine. You like Pac-Man? Cool. You like Galaga? Great. You like Dig Dug? Sweet. You'll love Namco Museum. For some reason, when you play the remade games or the more modern versions, because they have the originals, the more modern versions of the games in there. For some reason, it's always 2-player, and you would just then control both players with one controller. I don't know why it was always 2-player. I couldn't just do 1-player. Maybe that was an emulator issue, but hard to say. I'm not really going to judge it on that because I don't know if it was a bug or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's classic arcade games. If you like them, cool. I've played them enough. I think I'm good. I did not need. I've played them all more than once, and I think once would have been enough for me. Robots. Just put it at the bottom of meh. It was okay. It went on for too long. My biggest gripe with the game is it feels like they took a bunch of Ratchet and Clank fans, put them all in a room, and they were like, what's your favorite parts about Ratchet and Clank? And they all listed them off. They're like, okay, make that into a game. And it's like, oh, can we like look at Ratchet and Clank while making this so we can like make it better? No, you have to make Ratchet and Clank from memory. That's what Robots was. And in some parts they did really well, but I think the biggest gripe I had with it was you would go and get to a door, let's say, or something, or you need a ticket or whatever, some plot point. It's like, oh, there's normal scrap, which is the currency, and also the ammo for some reason, and there's gold bolts, which specifically, or gold scrap, excuse me, specifically was used for like plot points. Now, why is it that was all they were used for? And if you wanted to get gold bolts, it was always just for like a plot point where it's like, oh, you can't get through this door, maybe X amount of gold scrap will let you through. Why is that even in the game? Because it makes you get to an area, especially at the end of like a jumping puzzle in the final area, where you don't know you need the gold scrap. So you just think, okay, we just get to the top of this tower and we get through the door and we go to the boss. No, you need to go back down the tower, and in all those side areas that you didn't know were side areas, go into all those, get all the gold scrap, forehead loser. I think it was just really poorly handled. I didn't like it. If anything, if they wanted to do the gold scrap route, let you collect it throughout the game. So if you get a bunch in early levels, it's just extra. So then when you get to the later levels, you don't need to get the gold scrap in the later levels. And then access can be used for bonus features in the settings or something. I don't know. Whatever they want to do. Future tactics. No, it's not as... Oh, God, where do I put this? No, it was absolutely better than Cabela's. What am I talking about? Tactical RPG without a lot of the RPG elements. Just half of... They made a tactical RPG and just took half of the elements out of it. And it was real bad. The leveling system was poorly made. The story was semi-interesting, fine. The levels before you were able to respawn after missions meant you had to do all the missions flawlessly up until you got the respawner, which was hellish. Trying to get the respawner mission specifically was hellish. It took me so long. Because the third character you unlock throughout the whole game, he is fucking useless. Like, half the characters you get in Future Tactics Uprising do nothing. They're so bad. They're awful. It's just bad. Bad. So, you know, when you look at the game, and it tried something interesting by trying to make a tactical RPG simpler and more appealing to more people. It didn't work. Did not work at all. GoldenEye 007, or not GoldenEye, 007 Agent Under Fire. Oh God, where do I? Oof. Oh, put it there. I mean, the story was fine. The graphics were good. Replayability would have been fine. But for some godforsaken reason, I don't know if this is on like this on the other versions of this game on like PlayStation 2 and stuff, they chose tank controls. Why? Why would you make it the left stick you look up and down with, and then move left and right with the left stick, and then you move forward and back with the right stick and look left and right with the right stick? At least I think I might have those backwards, but basically you could not, if you wanted to move forward, you couldn't, like, how do I put this? You couldn't just, the camera just wasn't controlled with just the C stick. You had to use both sticks at all times if you wanted to move and look at the same time. Just, why? Why would they make a game like that? It boggles my mind. It was such a horrendous choice. It was awful. Oh my lord. Alright. NHL, sports game, Beyblade. Fucking. I beat it in 4 hours. It was fine. Feel like Beyblade, cool. It did what it did what it was supposed to. It's Beyblade. You could get custom parts for the Beyblades and, you know, switch them out, make cooler Beyblades. You could keep playing through the championships to get other things, but you beat the championship once, you get the credits. It's basically, that's the whole game. You could do 4-player with your friends, which I think is probably the coolest part of that. So you could do all 4 people together, which I think is really probably where the game shines. I don't have 3 other friends to play fucking Beyblade with, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it that it was probably good. Anyways, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I mean, yeah, we'll put it there. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, one of the greatest games ever made, period. One of the greatest RPGs ever made. It's the best Paper Mario game by far. And the fact, it just goes to show that the Paper Mario developers, instead of they've tried many of times to make Paper Mario games that are better or just newer than Thousand Year Door, and they couldn't. So instead, they just remade Thousand Year Door. Because for some reason they don't understand, just give us a turn-based RPG. You don't need to add, like, it doesn't need to be an action RPG. You don't need to add wheel spinning before you start the combat phase. We don't want stickers. Just fucking turn-based RPG with the amazing Paper Mario script writing team, because they always do a phenomenal job. Just get the storyboarders. They do great. The atmosphere is always perfect. It just, the gameplay was perfect with N64 and Thousand Year Door. And after Thousand Year Door, they messed with it. They messed with the gameplay and they ruined it. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. They broke it. Anyways. Oh, God. do I put this at the... Put XD Gale there. XD Gale is in my top 5 favorite Pokemon games, Emerald being number 1 for me. I think XD Gale is phenomenal. I wish more people could play it, but because Nintendo just does not want to re-release it, and they will not let... oh, God. What's the name of the company that makes it? Whatever. They won't let the company make more games. They've been stuck on phone games. They're not allowed to make it. And it is a crying shame. So instead, we're just going to have to keep with Coliseum and XD Gale, which look better, by the way, than Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet on the Switch. Just saying. Games look phenomenal. To answer your question, I changed my name for the 50th game because Winnebago was hard to find for people. So I switched to Walrus Archive so people can find me easier on, Reddit, YouTube, Twitch, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, Red Faction 2. Oh... Red Faction 2, I'm sorry about the divorce. I apologize. I mean, I'm still Mr. Winnebago, but nobody can find me under that name. It's the problem. God, where the hell do I put this? Yeah, Red Faction 2 there. I think it is the best of the first-person shooters on GameCube I've played so far. It felt good to play. I liked the different guns. The grenades were fun. I like explosions in explosive weapons in first-person shooters, and the explosive weapons felt really good. Story was fun. It was concise. Yeah, it ended. It didn't overstay its welcome. I thought it was fine. I can't ask for much more. It gave me what I wanted, which was just a fun, futuristic shooter with explosions and super soldiers. It was cool. That's all I gotta say. Shark Tale, really, really bad licensed tie-in game. Yeah, we're putting it there. Because even Cabela's at least knows what it wanted to be. Shark Tale, holy fuck. It just was so bad. It controlled horrendously. They put so many different game ideas into the game, like rhythm, fighting, stealth, adventure. Oh, God, it just... Leave that to Yakuza. No. It felt so bad. Especially the rhythm sections where you have to press, both, you had to push down, up and down on the D-pad at the same time, or left and right at the same time, which I know you could do. A, B, X, Y were also coded to work. So you could do down X, down Y, which I think Y was up. Which my brain, for some reason, just couldn't grasp that. I don't know why. So it was horrendous, and I almost had to stop playing the game because it was just infuriating me. Thankfully, I was able to fully beat it, but I was real close to shelving it early and just putting a bronze medal on it and calling it a day. Sonic Riders. It knows what it wanted to be, and it did that well. Did I like what it wanted to be? No. Why did the boards have a fuel gauge? Why, when you got off the board, you just ran normally? Why is Sonic running normally slower than the hoverboards? I don't know, but he is. And it felt pretty shitty because of that. And then there's the post game, which you can play as the villains. And holy shit, it's so hard. It's so hard. Thankfully, it was post game, so I didn't have to do it. But man, they just the difficulty rating for this game is just cranked up to 11 when you get to like the later stages. And sure, we could just call it a skill issue if we want. I don't know if I was playing perfectly. Hard to say. But it was hard. Shadow the Hedgehog, excited for this third Sonic movie. Do I include memes aside, without talking about memes and how just much of a joke and funny this game is? We're gonna put it there. It controls horribly. The story makes little to no sense. Well, I guess in the if you understand Sonic lore, it makes sense, but it doesn't really explain it in the game. The gameplay is awful. The boss fights are horrendous. Very typical old 3D Sonic, where you lock onto something and guess what? You didn't lock onto it, so you're just falling through the world and you're just dead and restart the stage. Loser. El Bozo. It's like 16 endings too. It's just no. Too much. Simpsons Hit and Run, near perfect. We're gonna put it there. It is one of the only racing games I do like, because I think it's expertly done in a fun, cartoonish way. And being able to get out of the car and stuff and like poke around and find little secrets and collectibles. It's really, really well done. And I think, it's a shame we're never going to get a HD remake of this or a sequel. Just due to the licensing hell that The Simpsons is in, because nobody knows who the hell owns this game. It's a bunch of red tape everywhere. So we're never getting it. It's just what it is. And it's a real shame, because I really loved it. The Sims console port. Yeah, Sims console port. PC version, great. It's fine. Sims PC, perfect game, is great. It's the reason it's, made so much money, everybody loves it. Making a console port, making a GameCube console port for the first Sims was probably the worst thing they could have done. It's not even the Sims. It's like a quest-based system where you like upgrade your sim to like get better, to do certain tasks, to unlock the next area, to do the same tasks again and over and over and over and over. It's not fun. It's really boring. And it's just, you can't do all the fun things of Sims, which is like, remodeling the whole house and buying new houses and changing jobs. It's not fun. Spider-Man 1, or that was 2. Spider-Man 1, this being the first Spider-Man game in forever. I think this is like one of the first Spider-Man video games. Well, first like 3D one at least. They didn't really understand how web slinging worked yet in 3D. So it felt very... The game was very clunky. Or no, this wasn't the first one. There was ones on the PS1. This was the first... I don't know what I want to call this. First modern Spider-Man game. I don't even know what I want to call it. Either way, it was a very clunky game. And it was based on the first movie, which was fine. And... it was never any ground. You would just swing roof to roof. And you just kind of like swing in the air, like your web wouldn't connect to anything, it would just connect to the air. And there was really no momentum when you swung. The little momentum there was would slowly like pull you up higher and higher and higher and higher to where eventually you just have to fall back down. I don't know. It was weird. It didn't feel great to play, but it was fine. Yeah, no. Put it there. Spider-Man 2, however, holy fuck, this game's amazing. Spider-Man 2 was so good. How they crammed the amount of content Spider-Man 2 had into it on a single micro disc. Holy cow, there's so much content in Spider-Man 2. There's so much to do. Game's phenomenal. Love the story. Love the physics. So good. I cannot recommend Spider-Man 2 enough. It's where the Pizza Time meme comes from. It's, well, obviously actual like Pizza Time from the movies, but also, You know, it's pizza time. Great. Phenomenal. So good. Winnie the Pooh. Obviously a kid's game, so it wasn't really made for me. However, Winnie the Pooh set out exactly what it was meant to be. And it covered the game flawlessly. I think there were a couple sections where enemies kept respawning. It was a little annoying. But I think they expertly did the game. I think it was done perfectly. I really, really liked it. For what it was, that is. Day of Reckoning. I think it's just a skill issue, but the fact that, like, people could just take 10 bajillion hits to the head and then just stand up and one-hit you, bit infuriating. I really hated that. I feel like it was a real problem where I couldn't win eventually, where the game just got so hard where I feel like I wasn't doing any damage to the opponent. And it stopped being fun, so I stopped playing it. It just became infuriating, is what it is. Super Bubble Pop, fun puzzle, fun music, colorful, artsy. I liked it. It was good. It set out to be a fun puzzle pop bop game. Made good music, good colors. Gameplay was all right, I guess. Replayability's high. It was okay. It was fine. Creature from the Krusty Krab. Near perfect. I think it's my second favorite licensed tie-in SpongeBob game on the GameCube. First one, obviously, Battle for Bikini Bottom. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I think it's really good. I can't recommend it enough. I don't think it has the same amount of open world feeling as Battle for Bikini Bottom has. I think it's a bit more limiting. However, gameplay is really fun. It's fun to get the collectibles. The story's fun. It's just a fun overall time. I really like it. Star Wars Rebel Strike. I mean, it's a classic Star Wars game. It's good. I really like it. My only complaint is the stupid... We need to stop putting the stupid tow cable AT-AT bullshit in every Star Wars video game. I'm tired of it. Make it a cutscene. It's always annoying because you sling back around and hit the AT-AT leg and die. Or you go too far out and, oh, you broke the cable. It's awful. It feels bad in every video game. No video game has ever done it correctly. Prove me wrong. It's garbage. Amazing Island. Amazing Island. It had... The customization is bar none some of the best other than like Spore. It's so good. You could do so much wacky stuff. And it's really colorful, and the music's fun, and the design is fun. A lot of the mini games I think were pretty bad. I don't think the actual gameplay of the game was very good. I think they put almost all the time they had into just the customization system and like the engine needed to make the customization station or system work, because that's all it felt like they did. That was kind of the main... You just made funny creatures in the game. That was what you did in that game, and I feel like the mini games were kind of a secondary thing. You know, it is what it is. It was fun though. I really liked it. When you got people to play this with, it's really goofy. But again, yeah, the mini games, a lot of them felt pretty last second. Finally, Taz. I didn't know this game existed, and I'm gonna put it at the bottom of good, because no, put it there. It felt good to play at times. The guards that could cage you were like super soldiers. They could just spot you from anywhere. It was dumb. There were some jumps in that game that were so precise. It was not okay. Like, you had to be so exact with some of those jumps. Collectibles were fun to find. The worlds you got to go to were colorful, exciting. I just think some of the parkour was handled really poorly for a 3D platformer. The platforming needs to be good. And it wasn't. It wasn't always good. So, you know, that was just how it was. 49. What am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Yeah, Mario Party 7 was a bonus one because I wasn't actually going to count that yet, but that's 51. So chat, this is my list for the first 50 games. If you agree with me, let me know. If you don't, tell me what you would change. I want to hear people's opinions. I want to, I want people to argue with me on this. I want to know what people think. This is my list. It's my opinion, so it's not. I'm not saying it's factual, but I did play all these, and I have an opinion on all of them. I'm excited to do this when we get the next 50 games. When we do, 51 to 100, we're going to add to this again, and it's going to be exciting. Chat. Thank you, people, for joining me. I'm happy with this. I promise more uploads will happen soon. We'll get back to uploading on the YouTube channel, but for now, I love you all. I'll see you soon.